Welcome to the World of Art with Paul Crimi. Today I've brought in some prints that I've been working on. I've done this new series of prints. I started doing printmaking as a little kid with linoleum cuts, and I fell in love with what they did and how they came out. So all my life, now I'm 76, and I started doing linoleum cuts when I was probably 7 or 8, 9 years old, between those years. And I had all kinds of beautiful prints. And I fell in love with printmaking. But as you get a little older, you learn how to do painting and drawing. And there's so much when an artist learns in his life. But I've discovered as I've grown older and older that I've gone back to the printmaking and making plates and trying to do things that are so unique that they're going to always be something that I've done that's different than everybody else's. So I brought maybe 16 or 17 prints today to show you. And they all dealt with a wholeness is a circle of life, wholeness. So I did this whole series of circles, and then I make these plates out of a piece of wood and cut a hole in the center, and I put a piece of metal in a prints, and then I put the design on the wood by carving it with the tool. And then I print it and it's black and white. And then I sit down and I dot all of these dots individually. So it's quite a job. And each and every one of the plates has a message of some kind. And this one, it deals with the wholeness, and all of us are connected, and we're all human, and we're all blessed, and we're all guided by the circle of love. And that's what I'm trying to say, that we're connected, we're part of each other. So each one of these prints that I'm doing right now, I started with the black and white, and I go into some color. I'm still developing these. I've been doing this now for, I don't know, like I said, I bought an etching press when I bought my house in '71. And it cost me $3,700, which was a lot of money, and it took me like 3 or 4 years to pay it off. And it was 1,000 to 2,000 pound etching press with an 8-foot wheel, which I have moved 5 times, and now it's in my art studio in 1000 Main Street. And that's where I do my prints, and I make these plates. So this one here, like, is the very first one I did, and I really loved it. And I said, you know, it has this quality, serene, powerful. You could sit in front of it and look at it. And that's what I want people to do with these prints. Eventually, I'd like to hang them all up on a wall and just let people walk up and look at them and study them. Because they do have some kind of a message that's so subtle, and yet it draws you into it. So that's the first one. And you'll see them change as we go along here. This is the second one, and it's a little tighter and a little better. Each and every one of these circles has a different effect and a different approach. This one had all of these little plates around the circle, and right here there was a little star. All these different circles, and I felt like it has a message that our lives are like that. They go through different stages and different things in your life, and you have to somehow make it all come together and be part of the unity of the circle. And so each and every one of them has this quality, and some of them have more of it and less. Get the second at the end. So each one, like I said, has a different quality, and it takes me maybe 7 or 8 hours doing these dots. And they come out just as a black circle and a black paint, and then I come in with the white paint and I do all of the marks and all of the things, like the bridge. And this is a crucifixion, there's Jesus on the cross right here. Something that we are connected to because of God, and so I decided to do that one with that kind of display. And the circles of each and every one of us belong in. There's a star right here, which is the Star of David. which means that Christ has come into the world. When he was born, the men followed him. They followed the star to visit Jesus. So that's what this is all about. It has this kind of soft quietness, and then this dark circle of life right in here, and then all of the white. Because I'm going to get into the color as we go through these. This one here is done with blue now, see? So I wanted to change the feeling of it. So it has a lot of this quietness going on around it with the blue and the circle and then the little dots. It's relief of stress. And there's one, I think, of black and white that I called the beginning of stress, and then you have to get through the stress. Our lives are filled with stress, and we sometimes have to figure out a way to get beyond the stress. And I think that meditating and being quiet and sitting down and just getting all the stuff that goes on around us completely out of our minds. And this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to develop a series of prints that gives people some kind of inner peace that it gives me. Now, I am the artist, and I've developed this through all of the training and all of the years of printmaking and painting. So you can see now that the color starts to come out, and I started with painted the color in the center, and it had all of these lines, and then I dotted all of these squares. And it deals with our freedom and our excitement of life, and we're growing and we're expanding. We're coming into our own, and all of the other colors and feeling are subdued with the strong color in the center. So it's sort of talking to us in a different kind of way. And you'd sit down and you'd meditate on it, and look at it, and eventually it would speak to you somewhat. So then I got into the real color of it, and then I wanted it to be serene and peaceful, like you're sitting in a field of grass, and it's quiet, and it's a summer day, and the birds are flying around. I like the idea of being pulled in. I mean, if you sit in front of this particular one, it has the quality of making you flow into the center of it and go around, and all of the movement is directing you. See, every artist tries to give a feeling of serenity to their work. Some people don't want it. They want it to be crazy and wild, and I've done a lot of those paintings myself, and I've got a bunch of them that I've done from printmaking. And then I decided I wanted to do a series of quiet, serenity type circles. And so this is one of them, and there's quite a few coming up. Here's another nice one too. This one deals with life and how it changes. I think it could go like this as well. In images of mankind, man being here and woman being there in the center of this, making them whole and making them to have children and bring life into a different stage. So this one is called The Beginning of Living, Becoming Whole and Becoming One with each other. So it deals with that kind of thing, with the birth. So this one here has a different quality altogether. I decided to put a yellow, which is the symbol of sun, and the green is a symbol of life, and the gold is a symbol of unity and oneness. And all of the movement and energy is a blessing that we're here and we're healthy and we're going through different stages in our lives. And there's all this movement going on around us, that we're being directed and blessed by what we think and how we live. And so I'm trying to get some kind of a series of love, compassion for each other, make us a country that we used to be, where we all cared about each other. So you start to see this is another circle of unity. it's really softer and it's less in color, but more in unity with each other, that we should be more friendlier and more loving and more caring. This country is becoming separated by all of this energy that's negative. Let's put the positive energy back in it. That's what I'm trying to do with the work that I'm doing with these circles. Who knows? Every one of us has a reason to do something in what we do and what we believe in. So this one here, this is what I feel like what's going on in the country right now. There's a lot of dissension, a lot of anger, there's a lot of frustration. I know that this running for presidency and all of that puts so much stress on a lot of people. And I think that we should just relax and be friendly and be nice. So I'm trying to do something that takes away this kind of feeling. So I keep going on. And this one here deals with the love of peace and quiet and all of the stress. It has this beautiful flower in the center. And sometimes we should stop and smell the flowers. You know, that back in the 60s and the 70s, they had this whole thing about love and all of the stuff that was going on, and the music and everything that we were doing. And that's what I felt like when I did this particular one. So I've gone through these, and then I'm going to come to the last one. And the last one, I felt like it had so much to say. And I felt that if the people understood why I did them and how I did them, that it would make more sense. Sometimes artists don't want to talk about why they did it and how they did it. I'm not like that. I have a studio that you can come to at 1000 Main Street and walk around and see paintings that I've done all my life. I probably have 350 paintings on the walls in abstract, realistic, surrealistic, in ocean scenes. So this, I think this is the last one, yeah. And then I'm going to move this out of the way. And this one here I did because I wanted to make a statement about life. And it's called New Life. And it's in this beautiful frame. It's in my house. And it deals with mankind here, men and women here, in that their unity to become and to do, and to be the father and the mother, a person that gives life instead of takes life. This is what I'm upset about as an artist and as a person who believes that we are here for each other and that we should love each other, and that I wanted to make a statement, and this is what I did to make that statement, and I really think that it's a very powerful statement in itself. But I don't want to force my opinion on anybody. I'm just telling you, as an artist, we all have some responsibility somewhere along in the way of painting to give a positive and beautiful word. So that when we start doing something like this, we show the world that there's unity, that we're here for each other. I'm going to go back and get some of these other ones. You can see that these blue ones with the circles and then the white deal with what I'm trying to do. I got to this by going through this one. I felt like this was mankind and the women were in the center, and this was the line that brought them together. It may be a little far out for somebody to think that this is how we conceive or how we're, but I am just trying to do something that gives you a feeling of what we're all about when you do an image and it says that we are one and that we are all the same beyond what we have and what we aren't. I mean, somebody would say, it's not black and it's not white and it's not this, not that. Beyond what we have for our flesh and blood, lies the peace and serenity of our being, to be loved and look for love and to find love. We're seeking to be at peace and becoming peaceful in love and to be able to exist in a world where we're not always fighting with each other and arguing with each other. I mean, there's got to be some time in our lives where we are more in tune to what we should be instead of what we are. So that's why I brought in these particular circles. I mean, I've just done them. I've been working on them for about 2 months now, and I didn't know how I was going to present them, but I decided to do this show and let you see what I've done and explain what it is. So if you ever came into my studio and you saw these hanging up, you'd have some idea of what I'm trying to say. Because art is a way of communicating. It's a way of saying, hey, this is something that I feel and this is something that I love, as is everything that goes on around us. So I want to thank you. This is a great place to be at this particular time because we have so much to say and so much to do. God bless and have a great day.